Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take a seat, please. This is the greatest speech I've ever heard. And I think all the people here are the great fans, including me. And I see a real terminator of fears, of negative and passive. And I really admire it. And I think a governor is the great combination of wisdom, courage, and muscles. I have a million of the questions. As a fan, I saw all the movies you made, but I always believe custom number one. So I've got 5 million questions from all the people on the internet. But before that, I still want to change my. Is it possible everybody can make the muscles? Because I've been trying for 20 years, I could not make any muscles. So is there any secret ways or anything that can help? This is my only small, tiny question.
Well, 25 years ago, I wrote a book called The Modern Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. And that book has every single exercise in there. So maybe through Alibaba, you should sell it on your website.
That's great. Well, we'll put on the coverage, yeah.
But the bottom line is, when it comes to training, as you know, I still train every day. And I think that everyone can get more muscular. Everyone can get fitter. Everyone can get better physically. It's just a matter of work and how much work you want to put in. I think that if you want to put in a half an hour a day of cardiovascular training your heart muscle and your cardiovascular system, and training with weights to build your muscles, I think that's enough in order to get in better shape. Of course, when I trained for the World Championships, I trained throughout the year for many, many years, 5 hours a day, and lifted 50 tons of weights a day. But that's what was necessary to be a champion. But that's not what you want. You just want to build your muscle a little bit to fill up that loose shirt a little bit. So I totally understand.
Thank you, Governor. So I got 3 questions, pick up the 3 questions given by the internet, from the internet. The first, as you know, our audience is made up of many small business people who have also have a dream. From your perspective, what are the keys to success that they should focus on?
Well, as I said earlier in my speech, I think one of the most important things is to have vision and to go and have courage, because there's too many people around always that say it can't be done, or it won't happen, or you can't make it. And I've heard that literally my entire life, because I always had crazy ideas. What was crazy, not for me, but for other people. So when you're like in Austria, like I said, and you say you want to be a world champion in bodybuilding, and I want to get into weightlifting, my parents didn't believe in it. My friends around me thought it was impossible. I should become a soccer champion and so on, or a ski champion. Those are Austrian sports. But they didn't believe it. But I didn't listen to them saying, no, it can happen. I had a very clear vision where I wanted to go, and it was just a matter of putting the work behind it and laying out of what is the plan to get me there, and not to listen to the naysayers, to be courageous, and never be afraid to fail, which is another thing I mentioned in my speech. There's so many people that are afraid to fail, and even now in the work that I'm doing in government, many times, when I say we are going to go and create certain reforms, political reforms or budget reforms, people will say to me in the legislature, the politicians, look, no one has ever been able to do that. I don't think you will be able to do it. But, it doesn't matter if no one has ever done it. I mean, that's why records get broken. You should never go and take no for an answer, and you should never really be afraid to fail. I have failed several times in a political world. I've failed many times in my movie world. I've failed in bodybuilding. I've lost competitions. But that should never make you shy away from striving towards the top. I mean, you will always know when you fail, then you just get up and do it again. And you fail maybe again, and then you get up and do it again. Just you got to be persistent, and it's always those that can fight through the pain and through the agony. Those are the people that end up then successful.
Thank you. Well, we believe instead of studying a person's success and trying just to copy it, it's better to learn from the mistakes he made. So, can you talk about some of the mistakes you felt you made in building your career and how you reacted to it? A lot of people worry about the mistakes and things.
Well, I remember in bodybuilding competition, for instance, there was a time where I was so impatient, where I wanted to gain more weight than you really could in specific muscles. So I gained not only muscles but also fat, and I lost the competition because of that. So I recognized that right away, and then the following year, I trained very hard. I trained harder than ever before. I went on a much more strict diet, learned from this mistake, and then I won and never lost again. So this is, I think we learn, if you're really smart, you learn from the mistakes. That's why I always say there's nothing wrong with failing as long as you learn something from that. I've seen, for instance, in politics, I've sometimes tried to make certain changes, but I was not inclusive enough. I was not skilled enough in the beginning to bring Democrats and Republicans together. And I failed. And I learned from those failures, got advice from experienced people, and then moved forward and was much more successful after that. So I think that those things happen because you cannot start always being perfect and knowing it all. I think that life is a continuous learning process, and I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning on this job as governor of the state, and it's a wonderful experience that the whole state of California, the whole country, the whole world becomes one great classroom where you learn all the time and improve your skills and improve your policies and everything like that. So there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to learn from that.
Thank you, Governor. Well, Governor is the unique example that the transfer from an actor to a great politician and political leaders. So I think as an actor, you make decisions for yourselves, but as a political leader, you make tough decisions for the public. So being chief executive means you sometimes have to make tough decisions. Can you give us, the audience, some of the perspective about the toughest decisions that you have ever made in the past 8 years as the government officer?
Well, I think there's many decisions that you make that are very tough. I mean, there's decisions like, for instance, when with capital punishment, we in California, the people have voted on that we have capital punishment so that certain people that create, or commit heinous crimes be put to death. So when you have, all of a sudden, when you get a phone call like that at midnight, do you want to pardon this person or do you want to get them off the hook or something like that? These are tough decisions that you have to make. You have to, also it's tough when you, for instance, have a financial crisis and you do not have the amount of money that people want you to spend on various different programs. In California, we have in our constitution that you have to balance the books. You have to balance the budget. We in California do not print extra money. We don't have our own printing machine for money. Washington can do that, but not California. So you have to basically live within your means, and you have to call people that are, for instance, leaders in foster care, and have to tell them that, look, we don't have the amount of money that we had last year. We have to make some cuts in those programs. You have to call the education leaders, and you have to say, look, we have a limited amount. We have to maybe cut $3-4 billion from education. There's a very tough decisions to make because I love children, I love education, but still that's all the money that you have. Law enforcement calls and says we need to put more cops out on the streets because we have an increase in crime and an increase in gang violence. And you have to tell them we don't have enough money. We have to reduce by 10% the funding for your programs. If it's with prisons and so on. So there's a lot of tough decisions that are being made every day. But, that's the job that I wanted. I had a real need to go and give something back to my state that has given me everything. California is without any doubt the greatest place in the world. I love California. I moved to California. Many people from around the world want to move to California. It's really the land of opportunity. And so for me to work now for 7 years for free for the state and to take on those challenges and make those tough decisions is a great honor for me. I'm honored to be able to do that and represent the people of California.
Thank you, Governor. I think I think your answer gives me the courage because we too face big challenges because Taobao has over 300 million users and every decision that we are making is very tough, very difficult. But as you say, and I agree, it's a great honor for us to do this job. It's the job we choose. It's a job I love and I passion. Thank you.
And you're doing a great job with that. And I should just tell everyone here that I'm very excited about the fact that Alibaba is also expanding in California. And that's very important for me as governor to hear that you're creating jobs. You've already created 20,000 jobs in California. I know your goal is to bring, to expand and buy more companies in California and in the United States, and that you will create in the future another 100,000 jobs. And I hope that all of those 100,000 jobs don't go all over the United States, but come to California, okay? So that's the promise that I need from you.
Thank you. We will keep on investing in California because I think California gives us a lot of inspirations. The Silicon Valley, and I think I personally learned my English in the Hangzhou West Lake. When I was a kid, I was walking around and showing a lot of foreign American visitors. I learned my English from them. I learned a lot of ideas from them. And I also get great ideas for internet from this California. And it is a great honor to do something, and we can, to help the California small, medium size. I think yesterday the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to China, Mr. Huntsman, said, let's make all the small, medium-sized companies in the world to be united.
That's absolutely correct. I think it is great, and I think that you, as I said to you, that your concept is so terrific to bring companies together. As I said earlier, with the pencil, of how long it used to take to create the pencil, and how fast it goes today when someone has an idea to connect with with various different companies because of your company, because of Alibaba. So you have been a great visionary, and you have been a great leader. And I think you're a great job creator. When you think about that, you've created thousands and thousands of jobs, and millions, as a matter of fact, millions, as I've said. So that's really fantastic. You're doing not only great work for the company, but also great work for the country of China and also for the world. So congratulations, yes.
Thank you, Governor. We'll keep on doing that. As you say, it's our honor.
Before we go, I know that you had a birthday yesterday.
Yes.
And you celebrated your 24th birthday, right?
28.
Okay. So I have a little gift for you here.
Oh.
First of all, I want you to put on this.
Okay.
Open it up. Open it up to the zipper. And now we have another little gift here. You have to excuse me. My friend here is a little slow today. He's a little inexperienced with getting things ready. Now, put this on. Now, this is the Terminator right here, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Ma, good to see you. Thank you very much for having me here. You're looking cool. So when we do Terminator 5, you're going to be in it, okay? All right, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. And I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.